everyone, welcome back to another new moon collective reading. There's a new moon coming up in the sign of Gemini. This new moon is going to be happening on either June 17th or early June 18th, depending on your time zone. Where I'm located, it's going to be happening around 12:30 a.m. This is when the new moon will reach its peak. I am so curious to know, how have you guys been doing? How have you guys been feeling? I feel like this week was intense. It was definitely a lot. It was only Tuesday and I felt like an eternity had passed. It just felt like so much. And due to certain aspects that we are having astrologically to this moon, it is bringing a lot of confusion, a back and forth kind of an energy. I kind of want to share with you guys a little bit of what I went through this week, just so you can get like an idea of the energy, because I think it plays really well into the energy that's going on in the cosmos and to this Gemini energy. But before I get into it, I have to share with you guys, before I came to do this reading, I went to go water my plant because I've had such an incredibly busy day today. It was like nonstop. So I look at my plant and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to water my plant. So I go and I water it. And I've shared in a couple of these videos about this lizard that I had living in my plant. And just recently, I decided I was going to put her outside because I wasn't sure that she was getting like everything she needed being in this house. And I just thought that it would be better for her to be outside. And it made me really sad because I kind of became attached to the little lizard. So I kind of like regretted it, and I was like, what if she was happy here? What if she adapted? And I don't know, I was just like kind of sad about it. Well, today I go and I water my plant and there's a lizard in the plant. I'm just like, and it's not the same lizard because this lizard is smaller. So I know it's not the same lizard, but like what? Like I have so many questions. Where are these lizards coming from? Like how are they getting in here? I have 2 plants in my house and this seems to be the plant that they gravitate to. Am I like the lizard lady, the lizard whisperer? I don't know. Like what should I do? Should I put this lizard outside now before I become like attached to it? Or should I keep it? Is this like a sign from God? A sign from the universe that I'm supposed to have a little lizard in this plant? I don't know. Again, so many questions. And what's crazy is that this lizard that's in there right now is so unafraid. Like it took a while for my other lizard to like get used to me and to like not be afraid whenever I would come around. It's like she knew I wasn't there to hurt her. And if anything, whenever I was doing these readings, she would like come out. I think she really enjoyed like these tarot readings. And this lizard is so just like fearless. Like I don't even know this lizard. It's a new lizard. And he's already so like fearless. He's not flinching. He doesn't run away. It's like, I don't know. It's crazy. He just seems to be so at home and so comfortable. And I know there wasn't two of them in there. This is an entirely brand new one. Anyway, I just had to share that because I don't know. Crazy. But okay, moving on to the energies of this moon. So as you may know, the Gemini energy, I think it kind of does get like a bad reputation because it's very dual. There's 2 sides. It encompasses like all perspectives. And so it can be very contradictory, or it can like oscillate really easily to different extremes. Gemini is also ruled by Mercury, which is all about the ability to dissect things, to solve problems, to use your rational mind, to communicate, to be curious. It can bring an energy of overthinking things, maybe of over-rationalizing things to the point where we might lose touch with like the beauty of things and the magic of things because we're trying to make sense out of everything and wanting to like get to the bottom of things and really understand things and know things, which can sometimes lead us to like a really disconnected or a disillusioned view or perspective if we're not careful. But the good side of Gemini is that it is very curious and it is very flexible and willing to learn. It's a very communicative So yeah, I think this energy is calling for us to communicate to send messages, receive messages, to put things out there, maybe out in the open, to be able to like really express yourself, because many of us may be feeling like there's a lot we need to express, like there's a lot we need to get off our chest. But because there are so many challenging aspects as well to this moon, it might not come with like the outcome that you wanted, you know, expressing yourself and putting your truth out there. It might be met with like a certain type of criticism, or again with that energy of like over rationalizing things, being very logical. So it's like if you have like this big grand idea that you're super excited about and you share it with someone, expecting them to like be happy with you and love this idea with you. Instead, it might be met with, well, how are you going to get this to work? Or, I don't know, that sounds a little bit far-fetched, you know, or someone may simply disagree, or I don't know, like there's just an energy of like maybe miscommunications, or people not really seeing eye to eye, or not really understanding each other, or just kind of like realizing that you're on completely different pages with someone that you thought was gonna get it. So yeah, there's like an energy of speaking your truth and coming out of hiding, socializing, sharing information, communicating, but maybe there being like some crossed wires or some hang-ups surrounding that. So it's like it feels good to be able to express yourself, and you know, you feel like you're expressing yourself very strongly, very clearly and directly, and you're really driving something home. But then you get like this external input that just makes you question everything. And then you're like, hold on, is this how I really feel? Is this really my truth? Is this really what I want? And it could just bring like a sense of disorder and sadness and just like confusion, and like you thought you were so sure, but now you're like questioning everything. And yeah, like there's this back and forth that can seem very uncomfortable right now. This energy also feels like there could be a lot of little inconveniences or a lot of little mishaps that you're gonna have to work through. And yeah, it does seem like very like annoying, like an annoying energy to deal with. But at the same time, it is allowing us to reflect further and to be even more sure about what it is that we're feeling, what it is that we believe, what our truth is. It's like asking us to re-examine. But of course, we need to be like super pros right now at achieving balance, because it's all about balance. You want to be able to dream, to be inspired, to believe in the magic of the universe, but you also want to be grounded and making sure that you're not like bypassing any important details or facts of the matter, and that you're not going like too far off the deep end. And instead of dreaming big and turning your dreams into a reality, you're kind of like lost in a delusion. So it's kind of like we're like on a seesaw, and we're trying to balance both of these energies to find like that sweet spot, which of course can be challenging and can have us really confused. So my advice is like, if you're finding yourself really confused, kind of going back and forth and, you know, feeling very strongly about something one minute and feeling like you know what direction you want to take one minute, but then the next second you're like questioning it all and second guessing everything, I would say to just like hang tight, hang back, you know, don't make any sudden movements, kind of let the dust settle, and only move forward when you have like clarity and when you can really, you know, reanalyze things, reflect on things, and make sure that, you know, this is your truth and that you're not being discouraged by somebody else's input or like put off or badly influenced because someone else kind of gave you like a bad vibe. Make sure like if you're switching gears, switching directions, it's because it's coming from within, because maybe someone did bring a valid point and it gave you like another perspective on the matter, and maybe, you know, it did change your mind, and maybe, you know, you are perceiving it a different way. That's totally a possibility as well. So yeah, I just think it's a time where like we're just rethinking things, reanalyzing things, just making sure that we have like a good grasp on things, and that regardless of the discomfort, we stay true to ourselves, and that we're able to solve problems and use our rational minds, but not at the expense of losing touch with the beauty of the present moment and the magic and synchronicities that align us on our path. You know, that bigger force that's just always at play in our lives. Not losing touch with that and being able to kind of hold both of those energies. I feel like this energy is also very representative of understanding that both sides can be true, versus like seeing things as black or white, right or wrong, yes or no. It's like understanding both sides, both extremes, and that both can be true. And I think this is the understanding that we need to have to be able to really balance those two extremes, right? Those two opposing sides. So yeah, let's get into the tarot cards. As you can see, I have already pulled some tarot cards and some oracle cards. And let me just say, the Sacred Medicine card came out again. That's 3 times in a row. That's 3 moon cycles in a row that this little dude wants to come out. So it's a prominent energy here for us. For those of us that are tuning in, our little collective here, that's something that keeps coming up, okay? Sacred medicine. So it's definitely highlighting like our health. Maybe many of us aren't putting too much energy or focus on our health. And as you know, health is wealth. I feel like health is number one. Without your health, you can't enjoy anything that you work for, that you cultivate. It's all for nothing if you don't have the health to fully enjoy things and to experience things. So this is definitely very important, you guys. So tap into your bodies, listen to your bodies, let yourself be attracted to a certain books or podcasts, or see what health advice pops up into your life. What is it that you need to know, to hear, to look into to achieve a certain balance within your body? Maybe you need to work with certain herbs, or you just need to be more mindful with the quality food that you're eating, or you need to start like some kind of like a new health regimen or a health routine. It could even be as simple as like, are you drinking enough water? Are you getting good quality sleep? But I feel like something with your health is important. I feel like we need to start making better decisions when it comes to our health, better food choices, make sure we're giving ourselves what we need to keep us thriving and to keep us in high energy and feeling, very refreshed, renewed, feeling good. We're meant to feel good. So if there's anywhere that you're feeling bad, don't ignore it. It's trying to communicate something to you so that you can take some sort of action to bring balance to this area. You should be feeling amazing, great, incredible, vital, full of life energy. I know each of us are in different life circumstances. Like I just thought of for example, new moms or parents of little babies, little kids. You're probably tired. It's okay. That just comes with the phase of life you're in. So of course, keep in mind, your situation. But yeah, for the most part, generally speaking, take a look, be vigilant. We're not supposed to be feeling like slumped over and tired and sore and achy, bloated and all of these things, So maybe a good time to schedule your annual physical, get some blood work done, make sure everything is in order in that department. So what I'm getting from this energy is, I feel like deep down inside, we know what we want. A lot of us, we know what our happily ever after would look like, or what our next steps would look like, or what it is that we want to attract in our lives, what it is that we want to experience, what being on path looks like for us. I feel like we have a pretty good understanding of what this is, of what our truth is, what our purpose is, what our path is. But right now with this energy, it can seem like there's so much in the way of that, or maybe what you want, what makes you happy, is not in alignment with something in your environment, or with the people around you, where you feel like if you got what you wanted, maybe you would be hurting someone else. Or, like where something that you really want is out of alignment with something else in your life that's important or that you care about. So it just makes you feel like even further away from what it is that you truly feel would make you the happiest and would make things feel right, right for you and on track. And again, I think this is coming with that overthinking energy, with that energy of like overanalyzing things, where it's like, I know what I want, but I could never actually have that because of A, B, and C. Or like, how would this ever work out? How would that ever align? It's impossible. And the reason why your brain might be doing that right now is because, first of all, you're overanalyzing, you're overthinking, you're trying to like dissect things and make perfect sense out of things. You want to know everything. You want to have all of the answers of like, how exactly is this gonna go down? Like, give me the step by step. I need to know all of it. But sometimes it's like necessary for us to just surrender and just trust in the divine, and that things will align exactly as they're meant to. And there are certain things that you're just not supposed to overthink and overanalyze, because it's just a waste to your energy. And like, it's just bringing sorrow and sadness and suffering where it doesn't need to be experienced. Or you might be viewing your situation like in a finite kind of way, where it's like, well, I don't see how this is possible. I don't see how this could happen. So that means, I'm just stuck in this current situation, in this current reality forever. And it's like having that inability to be able to see past the obstacle, to see past the challenge, and thinking the challenge is like the ending of the story, when it's not. It simply is not. So don't put yourself through that. I feel like, yeah, definitely this moon cycle, it can do that to us. So just be very mindful of that. If you're experiencing any kind of a challenge, or you're unsure about certain things, you're unsure how certain things are going to come together, how it's all going to align, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that you don't need to know every little detail right now. Maybe things don't make sense right now. If you really try to dissect it and put it all together in a logical way, maybe it's impossible to do that right now. And maybe things do seem impossible, but that doesn't mean that this is your reality or your set of circumstances forever. And you just kind of have to let spirit, the divine, play its role, move, the pieces where they need to move them to create space. And just hold the faith, keep the faith that no matter what is happening, you are on path. You are slowly being merged to what is meant for you. And that's part of the magic, is like not knowing, is it just happening almost as if by magic. So whenever you're feeling like you're in those stuck kind of places, just remember that, keep that in mind. Spirit only shows you exactly, what you need to see for you to take your next steps. You're not necessarily getting like the bird's eye view to your entire journey, because then, where would be the fun in that? You want it to be exciting and surprising and mysterious? You're probably like, no. Especially with this Gemini energy, we're just like, no, we just want to know. We're not down with this confusion stuff. Thank you very much. But sometimes you need to be confused, and you just need to surrender, and you need to just not know, and trust in spirit, in what cannot be understood by your logical mind. Okay, instead of staying stuck on, but how is this going to come together? Am I being naive? Am I being stupid, thinking that this is, what's my happiness, that this is what's my truth, when it's so far-fetched? How can that ever happen? Instead of staying stuck on that perspective, use the good qualities of this Geminian energy to be flexible and to be able to see all perspectives, all sides, and to understand that, yes, maybe some changes do need to be made. You don't know exactly how they're going to come about, but you're just going to stay focused on your happiness, on what brings you joy, on what would be like your wish come true, on what would be like your greatest fulfillment, and just keep your sights on that, despite how unlikely, unlikely it seems in this moment. It's like, keep your vision alive, keep your dream alive. I feel like there's many of us that we feel very like tied down or locked into a certain kind of like tradition or responsibility or a legacy possibly. Maybe we're still living a life based off of like what our parents taught us it is that we needed to do in order to be successful. Or, we might be still kind of holding on to ideas or beliefs that aren't really our own, where we might not be thinking for ourselves because we're trying to adhere to like a certain structure or order or like rules or traditions, because we don't want to disappoint those around us. And we might be feeling really guilty about going our separate way and breaking out, like breaking free from whatever system we're finding ourselves in. Or it just seems like super catastrophic, like it seems like if I was to break out of this and go my own way and be independent, it's gonna mess up a lot of things, and you might be so afraid of like the repercussions of that you keep yourself stuck in a situation that maybe you don't want to be in. So it's time for you to kind of check your commitments, see what it is that you've devoted to, that you're loyal to, and if it's still in alignment with you and with your truth and with what you want for yourself. Because what I'm seeing here is that we need to cut certain commitments that we have. There's certain like duties or responsibilities that we have or arrangements that we're in that just like it's not working for us, but like we're so afraid to cut ties with it, to break free from it because we're feeling guilty in some way. But again, this is where trust comes in, right? And where putting yourself first comes in. If you're waking up every day and you're miserable and you don't like your reality and you don't like what you're doing, you need to be able to voice that, to express that, to be true to yourself so that you can slowly make different actions that are actually going to contribute to something that is more aligned with what would make you happy. So you do have to be in tune with your emotions, with your intuition, like those gut feelings, and take cues from that. Because I think that we're making this like a way bigger deal than what it needs to be. I think it's like we're the ones thinking that it's going to be like the worst thing ever and it's just going to like everything is going to crumble and it's just going to destroy a lot. And we're so afraid of like the repercussions, but I don't think that it's really like as bad as we're making it out to be. I think we're just holding ourselves back and keeping ourselves stuck with that belief or with this perspective that like we're going to suffer and this is going to just be a disaster and that we're just going to be like so criticized and that this is going to be like a very difficult and confrontational time. And it might be, but if you're feeling like this is what you need to do to stay true to yourself, then I would say not to be afraid and to do what it is that you're being led and called to do. It could also be that you feel like wherever you're finding yourself right now in your life, it's like just not healthy for you, where you're finding like your environment is no good for you, or like your work schedule, or just the way that things are set up right now. There's something about it that isn't working for you, and you need to be able to shed this. You need to be able to be honest about this, to voice your concerns. And even if it's being met with like criticism or with like challenge, take the time you need to take to make sure that this is your truth, that this is really how you feel. And once you've taken that time and you're sure, continue to move forward no matter how uncomfortable it is. Spirit is asking you not to hide and to consider yourself first and foremost, to consider your health, your happiness, your well-being, and to make sure that you are listening to your intuition, taking that into consideration, that you're dreaming big, that you're not getting discouraged to make your wildest dreams a reality. and to move in the direction of them despite what it's disturbing or destroying. We're being called to make better decisions here, to make better choices, and to make better commitments, because whatever commitments we're in right now, it doesn't seem that they're working for us. And this is like a time where these things can really be highlighted and can be becoming very clear to us where it is that we need to initiate some changes in our lives. Okay, you guys, so stay true to yourself. Know that you can create a reality for yourself that you'll be completely happy in, that you'll be completely satisfied with, content with, that you'll feel very emotionally stable with, and that you will reach the epitome of success through trusting yourself, through trusting your intuition. And you will find yourself in a place where you're very confident and comfortable with your circumstances and with your reality. And that you can get there being compassionate, being caring. I think, we fear that we're like being selfish or that we're being like tricky, getting out of our commitments, and this means that we're betraying people. If you're feeling like you're kind of stuck in that situation, just know that you're gonna get the insight that you need. You're gonna get the gut feelings that you need that are going to move you forward. The information will present when it's ready. The doors will start opening, and that you can only support others and be there for others by fully supporting yourself first. You always come first in the equation. Okay, so rise above all of the challenges and deal with each of them one by one as you get the clarity to know how to deal with them, to know how to, solve these problems. It may be, draining. So make sure that you're supporting yourself, through keeping yourself healthy, considering your well-being, making, good choices for yourself, just supporting yourself in whatever way you need to, whether that's like reading inspirational books, taking some time out in the morning to reflect, meditate, journal, making sure, you're drinking enough water, making sure you're going on your nature walks, that you're eating good quality foods, so on and so forth. Just a really important time to take care of yourselves and to deem that as like the number one most important thing during this time of transition and change, because as we continue moving into the summer, I think it's just going to be getting like more intense. I think there's going to be a lot of drama potentially. So this might just be the beginning, but trust that you got this, you can handle this. And really, I don't think it's as bad as it seems. And everything that we're going through right now is just leading us through positive changes and transformations. We're learning a lot, and we're definitely advancing. And we know that, our greatest advancements, they come through challenge, through overcoming these difficulties. And this is where positive change can be born from more rapidly than through anything else. So there might be some rude awakenings. We might, cry. But after, we cry and we cleanse, we're able to see things more clearly with more clarity. So just trust that and believe that and continue moving forward on your path. Okay, guys, these were our new moon messages for this period. I hope that this served you and brought you some clarity for whatever it is that you may be experiencing at this time. Remember, I do offer personal readings as well. You can find my information in the description box below. I would be more than happy to connect. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourselves. This does seem to be a really challenging time, but as always, there's nothing we can't do. We got this. Stay strong. So much love. Big hugs. And until next time, bye.